So I had this idea for a video while I was window shopping online a few months back about attainable grails based on people's average watch price within their collection. The goal was to show what kind of watch you can get with minimal saving while getting you a grail that might not have been feasible in your eyes. As I've gotten deeper into the hobby, I've learned that statement watches, though often grails when new, can be bought at hefty discounts pre-owned. Problem is, most influencers in the space focus on new watches at MSRP and don't consider how unrealistic those prices can be for the majority of people in the hobby. So today I want to explore attainable grails based on collection tiers. There are 12 different grails from 11 different brands based on saving goals that are relatively within reach based on your past comfort levels with prices per watch in your collection. I wanted to start here with the $250 and under collection. These are people that own Seikos, Orients, Casios, maybe even the occasional Chinese micro brand. And I wanted to start with something that you can save up for without having to wait years to get. So I want to start with the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer as the dive watch grail. It's a brand with some of the richest heritage in the industry, with prices well under $1,000 for decent quality pieces. It's the diver for people who want to look like they dive, but mostly just swim in emails and sip espresso. This watch can be worn as formally or as casually as your lifestyle, and is built like a vault and sharper than a hedge fund manager's cufflink. It says Weekend Warrior, but with a steel case and a six-pack of optimism. The dress watch for this is the pre-70s Omega Seamaster. It's a brand steeped in legacy, legendary watchmaking heritage, and you can still snag a surprisingly solid piece for under $1,000. This watch is like owning a vintage Jaguar E-Type, but you'll know it'll need some TLC, but my God, these watches are gorgeous. They're slim, understated, and more charming than a Bond villain in a tuxedo. I actually already made a video about my personal Omega Seamaster DeVille, and I can personally vouch for the Seamaster's quality. This watch doesn't shout, it suavely sings with a silver tongue. A quick caveat here though, I would try and avoid Seamasters from the 70s with the 1000 series caliber. The movements just aren't as robust with cheaper components that were made to compete with the ensuing quartz revolution. The caliber 1010 improves on the 1000 series shortcomings, but it still flounders with day-to-day complications. For the go anywhere, do anything grail is the Christopher Ward C63. This is the Swiss-made, British-branded pseudo underdog that punches well above its weight and punches harder than Stylebender. It's got the versatility of a quarter zip and can be worn literally for any occasion. If it were a car, it would be a Lotus. It's clever, underrated, and unapologetically cool. Moving on to the $500 and under collection. So these are things like Seikos, Orients again, but with more micro brands like Brew, Traska, and the occasional big brand vintage piece. For the dive watch in this section, I want to talk about the Oris Aquas. This is a watch from an independently owned Mega Micro. This watch is dressed up enough to be worn with anything and with ruggedness to go do anything. It's the type of dive watch that says you're an enthusiast and you want to swim upstream in a crowded pond. It's shiny, it's angular, and it's just interesting enough to make a Longines Hydro Conquest quiver. For the dress watch, I wanted to talk about the Nomos Club. This is a Bauhaus brilliance with a punk rock attitude. It's got clean lines, no nonsense, and a splash of cheeky color. Nomos is a watchmaker from Germany with a style that's uniquely un-German. It can go from boardroom to barbecue without breaking a sweat or the bank. And for the prices these go for, it'll feel like you just oceaned your local AD. And for the go anywhere, do anything piece, let's talk about the Frederic Constant High Life. I wanted to include an integrated bracelet that isn't the PRX. The Frederic Constant is a relatively young brand in the industry, but has been building watches like it's been around for hundreds of years. The High Life is like if someone took Patek Philippe's DNA and let it go to the spa, cloned it on a budget, and pumped it out to the public. The integrated bracelet gives it ultimate flexibility and vintage swagger. It's classy, affordable, and just smug enough to hang with the snobbiest pocket watcher. And before I move on to the two next tiers of collectors, I wanted to say thank you for watching this video. And if you're liking the content I'm pumping out, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to help us grow just that much more. So let's move on to the $1,000 and under collection. These are people who own Mitos or more of those vintage dress watch pieces, Oruses, Tag Heuer F1s, and want to get into something a little bit more serious. So to start, I'll talk about the Tudor Black Bay. This is obvious. Obviously, I would choose a Tudor. I'm wearing my Tudor Pelagos, which is my personal grail. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Black Bay and more of their niche models since it's slightly different. The Tudor Black Bay is Rolex's rebellious brother, who is the class clown and shoots the shit with its friends, but it's still at the top of the class. It's cheeky, it's toolish, and it's cooler than being in Alaska in a swimsuit. Buy one and suddenly everything else on your wrist looks like it came out of a cereal box. The steel bezel and the Heritage Navy bezel are both affordable watches that are serious caliber pieces for a price that's too hard to beat. For the dress watch, I want to talk about the Cartier Tank. Now, this shocked me that there are Cartier tanks available around the $2,000 mark, but there are tons of them. Another watch brand with more history than the country of Canada, the Tank is an icon. It doesn't tell time, it tells stories with finesse and a French accent over champagne. Wearing one makes you immediately more stylish and 15% more likely to land Sydney Sweeney. The Tank isn't just a watch, it's an invitation to elegance at a blue-collar price. And for the go anywhere, do anything piece, I wanted to talk about the Longines Spirit. The Longines has the oldest trademark of a brand of any company still around. It's steeped in pedigree, and this is a pilot's watch for the man who's never flown anything but in the backseat of a major airline. It's legible, rugged, and has just enough charisma to charm the pants off any local pookies. And for the final collection that I wanted to talk about is the $2,000 and under collection. So these are people who own Nomoses, Doxas, the occasional Longines, and even more tags. I want to start here with the Omega Seamaster Professional 300. As mentioned earlier, Omega is one of the most famous watchmakers of all time. And the moment you put on the Seamaster Professional 300, you can feel the Walter PPK brush under your armpit like James Bond. It's got a helium escape valve, which you'll never use, and a wave dial that's unlike anything else in the market. The watch is dripping in character, almost to the chagrin of its owners. It's the only dive watch that can be worn with a tuxedo without making you look like a total chotch. And it's, to this day, one of my favorite watches ever made. For the dress watch, I went a little off the beaten path and went with the Breitling Premier. So Breitling as a brand is in a weird spot right now. They don't necessarily make the most sense with their prices, and their designs just aren't that inspiring. However, the Premier is a different story. Looking back at Breitling in their prime, this Premier is the kind of watch that would smoke cigars and drive a 60s Alpha, that wears a cologne that smells like teakwood. The chronograph pushers are clicky, the design is debonair, and it'll time your hot lap around the neighborhood. It doesn't scream for attention, it raises a glass and winks. Finally, to cap this all off, for the go anywhere, do anything watch in the $2,000 collection, I am choosing the Grand Seiko Heritage Collection. In the 90s, Mercedes was known for over-engineering, and in the 21st century, Grand Seiko has gone on to hire those sickos to make some of the highest quality watches. The Heritage Collection is where science, art, and borderline madness intersect to create a movement smoother than jazz on silk. It's a watch that turns timekeeping into a form of meditation, and honestly, it's so good, it just might ruin Swiss watches for you forever. So let me know what your thoughts are on these collections for these different grails. What would you suggest differently, or what have I suggested that you own that you would maybe not buy again? If you like this video, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you're interested in the watch giveaway, please go back to my Budget Diver Showdown video that's on the channel and take a look there and leave a comment and a like in order to be submitted for that giveaway. So thank you so much for watching.